Pacific on CRN.
Welcome to Heaven on Earth, a sacred portal to visualizing, meditating, and co-creating our highest joys that usher in the Golden Age of Aquarius. I'm your host, Athena Starseed. Hi, this is Athena Starseed and my gorgeous co-host, Kim Hix, and he's not in Hawaii again.
I'm here, present and accounted for, and happy to be so.
I am so excited about that. I'm so excited about that. Yes, I got Kim Hix in the house, our Emmy Award-winning set designer and our creative genius, our cosmic ranger. So I want to invite everyone to take a nice deep breath, and we'll do our opening invocation. So let's all breathe and exhale. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light return to earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men and women. May the Christ consciousness return to earth. In the center where the will of God is known, let the center guide the little wills of men, the center which the masters know and serve, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. May the plan of love, light, and power restore heaven on earth. Archangel Michael, Gabriel, Uriel, Raphael, Father Sky, and Mother Earth, from the point of light that connects us all, please be here in this sacred circle of light. Om, 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 amen, and aloha.
Aloha, Athena. I'm so glad to see you in the flesh and alive in that beautiful smile.
Too.
What a treat. I'm glad to be back in California, although I'm freezing, and I want to get back to my islands. The islands are so sweet because they're so far away from the rest of humanity that we have a much more idyllic version of consciousness. Everybody in Hawaii thinks whatever's going on in the mainland, that's their problem. Here, we have family, we have the ocean, we have the palm trees, and we've got the trade winds, and we can know how to enjoy them. So.
What's our topic for today, Kim?
Topic is actually the oracle and the function of visionaries, which was always carried out in the ancient world by the oracles. So I want to lead into that a little bit with the story of what an oracle is and what an oracle does, and that each of us are an element of supporting this greater vision for humanity by being oracles ourselves. In Delphi, there was a phenomenal a gathering of priestesses at Delphi, and this was a cabal of women who organized a method of visioning the future by sitting in these chairs that were over the gas chambers of the earth that had a kind of psychedelic aspect to them. So but it was a dangerous gas, and only part-time of the year could they do the oracles. But it would turn a woman into a higher high, and she would speak from the cosmos. It's what we call channeling.
I certainly remember having my own past life in one of those temples with volcanic gas?
Yes.
Is that what it was?
Yes.
That they breathed in, the oracles of Adelphi.
Yeah. But the most interesting thing about the oracles of Adelphi is that they were consulted by all the rulers and power brokers of the Mediterranean, would come there and consult the oracle to find out how they're favored in warfare and stuff. And the women were intelligent. They were a source of gathering universal intelligence, so they knew what king was going to want to fight what king. And they were able to very subtly direct humanity in a new direction. So they would casually but very, very sensitively trip up the power mongers and the greed kings who were out for just glory and slaughter. And they constantly redirected it into energies of the benevolent kings who were supportive of all humanity and well-being. It's a very important thing. So let's fast forward. Those were the oracles of Delphi. Let's get to today, or not today. Let's go to the 60s.
Let's get the narrative, the entire stream,
the 60s
so we can set up ourselves.
In the 60s, in the streets of the Haight-Ashbury, a group of brilliant hipsters started doing a magazine.
I'm going to fix your hair right here. Your little hair is...
Oh, thank you. Get my...
Hey, we have makeup and hair here.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Okay.
I'm not too good at doing my own makeup. You know, I need help.
There we go. Beautiful.
Women always keep me trimmed up. Thank you very much. They wrote a newspaper for the streets of the hippies in the Haight-Ashbury, and they called it the Oracle. And the Oracle was given away free or for 25. I can't remember whether it was paid for or not, but it became the voice of the vision of the hipsters movement, of the consciousness peace movement. And it with the brilliant articles about the nature of Indians and the tears for the earth and they were suffering, and about universal understandings of Eastern mysticism and bringing it into the West, a la Alan Watts and Allen Ginsberg. And these were and they would have articles about all this. But the vision was that this would be a magazine that would be a rainbow magazine colored, read by all humanity. And so it was a context, the first I know of global context of a newspaper. And that was exquisite. So the Oracle came and served that community and then kind of disappeared. However, it got resurrected recently. And
Is it the same people?
No, well, yeah, actually, some of the same people. This is the direct lineage of the original Oracle, but it's the Laguna Oracle, there were several oracles up and down the coast. It was, and anyway, we got to this current situation. And so I want to point out that the hipster revolution of consciousness, which is really the foundation for what we are about to enter now, was only a national event. It wasn't an international. It was the hippies who were bringing a constant universal feeling to it. So this is when the Oracle has been reconvened in order to really achieve a vision for humanity.
So it's kind of like a lighthouse. She was like the voice was a lighthouse guiding people to not wreck their ships, right?
Yes,
because
exactly.
during Vietnam, people were getting very hopeless.
Vietnam was really tough on our soul. I mean, we were kids, and
Kennedy?
We had brothers, and the Kennedy assassination was the end of Camelot, which was the idealism of America, you know, and we realized that America had become a shadow. A dark shadow and the American dream was now a dangerous threat to becoming a nightmare. You know, here we are as young people, all idealized, you know, wanting to propagate all across the planet. So it brings us to the current threshold as we sit on the arrival of a dire threat to our civilization. Again, yes, this is huge. This is bigger than Vietnam. We have climate change coming, and it's ferocious, and we have a severe exploitive, extractive economy just gobbling up our souls here. And this thing is really devastating to our well-being and humanity. All we really are meant to be is creatures of soul manifested here in enlightenment and making love in the emerald forests of consciousness and the sacred forest of dreams. And that's the passion that we saw in the hipster era. It was so beautiful. They called it free love, but it was agape gone sensual.
What does agape mean?
Well, agape was universal love. It was understanding that you're not just finding one lover in a lifetime and sticking with that person, but that you were a love origin or lighthouse of your own and able to project that love into all others that you encountered. And that's the way we create a real society. A true society is a society of agape. It's if women are free and totally free, all beings will be loved and cared for. So the liberation of the feminine energy to fulfill its own natural desire is really what this is all about. And if any of you guys are paying attention to that, that means wake up and understand what the women are trying to achieve here and would like to see. They want to see a world of enlightenment to come. They want to see us reconstruct our whole political, socio-dynamic structure into a beautiful Eden of consciousness where we can flourish and nurture our children for the gifts they bring, you know. So
well, I was going to say, we're talking about, men in an organized fashion for a higher purpose than war. So what is the right use of the divine masculines left brain, their logic, their reason, their mechanics, their innovation. What's like to collect men, because they have to do something together, and we don't have tribalism. How can we put their talents in a group to use instead of military action?
Well, that was the theory of teams in sports, was all about building the character of a cooperative endeavor, but it got lost in competition because the real greed machine of ego came in and wanted to make money out of it. So the sacred role of the masculine was lost in that, and the masculine got dominated in the game of hierarchy that is played by the power brokers. And so the masculine was just as oppressing to the masculine as it was to the women. And that's something women don't understand. And that's why the masculine has been emasculinated today. He's not fulfilling his noble purpose. So the question is, where do you find the noble-hearted masculine? And they're all around. Every singer, poet, every bongo player, every avatar, every bodhisattva has inside him a core sacred warrior whose strength it is not to fight but to create. And that's the nurturance. Our job as tinkerers and inventors and those who created this world is to actually, we can reinvent this world completely from stem to stern, so we can have a very successful, ongoing, exquisite journey of soul patterning in Earth and on the dynamic of the orgasmic planet that this is meant to be.
I like the sound of that, organic and orgasmic, because for women to actually nurture at her best, she needs to feel safe.
Absolutely. And that was where we got entrapped. The masculine has always been defending the border and doing with the outside world to create. A man builds a house, or he builds the fence or the wall in order to protect the feminine. The feminine comes in and makes it a home. Well, we are on the first stage of global consciousness ever, and we are now able to let all the walls dissolve and create a new unity and harmonic of all sacred masculine beings to serve the sacred feminine function of creation.
Go ahead. What were you
that sound good?
I was going to say, women, get ready. I was like, get ready, because we have been waiting for a lifetime, and
Yes.
I'm approaching my midway point, right? Almost 50 here, at 49, coming right up on 49, and really loving my age and loving what's happening with humanity. This is the most exciting time, Kim, to be on the planet. There's more of a global village happening right now with the innovation of the internet. There's more possibilities for people to not just have the American dream to go from zero to infinity, but anybody can get on the computer, build a business, have a .com, share their products and their gifts with the global market, and actually become fully actualized and appreciated right now in this lifetime. We don't have to die as artists and then be appreciated after. We can receive our abundance and our wealth right here, right now.
Yeah, we've typically been sacrificing for the sake of the children. This is probably the first generation where we can actively live out the same dream we share universally. See, we got to understand the American dream is
everybody's dream. It's a global dream.
It's a global dream. And once we understand that, then we have a unity and a common ground for all humanity. So we'd love to create an activation cosmic consciousness center in Hawaii. I'd love to invite lovers from all aspects and corners of our earth to come and demonstrate for us how love can be and works in their consciousness, in their region. So, you know, you have the Japanese etiquettes of beautiful and exquisite love, and you have, you know, the Norselanders and their hot tub relationships and stuff. I think all of this is a beautiful dream we can share.
Imagine if we all in humanity got to take off and go to Hawaii for a month and soak in the nature, the Garden of Eden, and make love again to our higher self and to our beloveds. And this way we come back restored, rejuvenated, whole, holy, and complete. This is Athena Starseed and my gorgeous co-host Kim Hix, the Divine Masculine. I'm so excited. This is Heaven on Earth. Please stay tuned. If you like this show, subscribe, share this show. This is where the 144,000 are gathering to get their new news for the brand new you. All right, we'll be right back after these commercial messages. Blessings.
Were you scammed into signing a timeshare contract? And did you miss the part that said you have to pay for your great idea? Not only for the rest of your life, but when you're not here anymore, you get to pass this turkey onto your family for them to pay for the rest of their lives. Thanks, Dad. Don't burden your family down the road, and don't be stuck with expensive timeshare payments forever. Get out of your bad idea timeshare contract guaranteed, or pay nothing. Call Resort Release today and learn for free how their timeshare exit team can help you legally exit your timeshare contract. They've helped thousands of people, and they're A+ rated with a BBB. So if you feel scammed, get mad and get out of your expensive timeshare contract right now, guaranteed. Call NOW.
800-716-9903. 800-716-9903. 800-716-9903. That's 800-716-9903.
You're experiencing pain, back pain, shoulder, elbow, or hand pain, pain from a sports injury. If so, schedule a visit with Dr. Michael Sheps, the leading expert in laser therapy for pain management. Call 310-873-4422 or go to drsheps.com. Experience Epic T, the breakthrough laser therapy system that Dr. Sheps developed to make you pain-free in less time. Laser therapy is a non-invasive, safe, and effective in-office procedure that penetrates deep into your skin without damaging the tissue. It perfectly targets areas of pain to promote fast, natural healing. Relax your muscles, ease muscle spasms, joint stiffness, and arthritis pain while increasing blood circulation. For over 25 years, Dr. Sheps has helped Olympic athletes and sports enthusiasts alike get back in the game. Schedule your visit with Dr. Sheps at his Brentwood office in California. Call 310-873-4422 or visit drsheps.com. That's DRSHEPS.com. 310-873-4422.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Their expert staff can help you turn your book idea into a real book, a masterpiece that could someday make the bestseller list in hard copy and digitally all across the world. Page Publishing can help you completely take your idea for a book, write it, and publish it. So if you want to join the ranks of some of the most famous authors in the world, call now for a free information kit. Turn your book idea into publishing gold. Make a free call right now to Page Publishing.
800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. That's 800-378-3212.
Hi, this is Athena Starseed, and this is a show called Heaven on Earth, and I have my gorgeous co-host, Kim Hix. He's not in Hawaii, he's in the City of Angels, and we are talking about the oracles of enlightenment, and we went all the way back to Adelphi in ancient Greece and antiquity, and we brought that forward to the 60s, which were kind of a huge mass of oracles. They were a big group of people that looked at this society and had kind of gone into their higher self and went, there's something wrong here. What can we do to bring the heart and the art back into our culture and our community? And you were telling me about a magazine that kind of got
reinvented, reborn, rebirthed. And
from the 60s,
because of the need and the times, and we feel that we're on the verge of a very, very difficult, chaotic passageway for humanity, and we want love and cooperation and consciousness, collective visioning, and the language of love to bring us together universally on the planet. And a quick way to determine whether things are working or not is if the language that you're listening to is about separation and distinctions and building walls, et cetera, it's not the language you should be really joining to. Joining in the language of love, which is always inclusive.
You know, I think Pink Floyd was pointing at that when he did the album The Wall.
That's exactly right.
Is about, you know, all these protection bricks that we put between us because we feel unsafe. And I was talking about that. The Divine Feminine feels unsafe to fully express her feminine nature, which is just to nurture.
Yes, and that feminine nature is so exquisite and so universally sought that the masculine will understand. This is where we can, all humanity, all the male energy on the planet can be converted back into the folds of consciousness and love. I firmly believe it. We're naturally that way. Because inside the masculine is the greatest role of all. Inside the masculine is this feminine core of fathering. And the father is when the masculine finally comes to his deep-cored feminine nature. It's the unconditional love that a father has for a son or a daughter that is really brings the masculine to be. You know what it is? When the child is born, the masculine, his ego is outside of himself. And all of a sudden, he is willing to sacrifice anything for the well-being of the child. And that is a sacred bondage. This is very important. That's why we have to nurture the masculine fatherhood.
What do we do with the men that do not learn that initiation process through having their own child? What do we do with those men? How do they cultivate their own divine inner feminine?
Fathering is a role you do. Fathering is achievable anywhere on the planet that you father something into existence. That's taking a boy under your wings, taking a friend. This is brotherhood. This is the masculine sacred covenant of brotherhood. And it happens all the time. An old machinist, meets a young man and says, who is going nowhere and says, look, I can show you how to use a lathe. I can show you how to do these things. And this is a great lineage. It's the lineage of the guru. It's the lineage of the magician teaching the apprentice.
Okay, let's talk about the magician. You have the magician's card here somewhere.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, the magician. Ta-ta, the magician.
So the magician of the Tarot is kind of like, would you say that's Merlin to King Arthur? He's mentoring King Arthur?
Yes. He's the alchemist. And the alchemy... The pursuit of alchemy is to find the philosopher's stone, and the philosopher's stone was this one that would turn anything to gold. But that's a little. Pay attention to this because
metaphor.
It's a metaphor. It's not a reality. The important thing about the philosopher's stone is that when you go into the world of alchemy, you are finding the gold in your own soul. And not in the real world. It was never meant for us to plunder the treasures of the heart and commercialize them. And that's what we've done. We've plundered the heart, and we've sold and bought and sold. Sex, for instance, which is a great exquisite quality of universe, or a great enactment process, is used to sell everything.
It's exploitation of the love.
But you can't sell sex itself. So the hypocrisy levels of our culture are ruining the exquisite quality of true nature and the natural orgasmic, organic aspect of nature.
So I want to go back to being able to inspire the divine masculine to start putting in their feminine qualities of fathering. And so as you're in your sage age, you have been mentoring many men and using the alchemy of the magician to, Merlify their King Arthurship. You know what I'm saying?
I always do that. It's my nature to nurture and encourage the brightest aspect in the young men I meet and anoint them.
And he does anoint them. Okay, well, listen, we are getting ready to go to commercial break again, but I want you guys to really think about how you can become the magician of your own life. And being the magician means you have to have self-mastery first. We have to master our physical bodies. We have to eat clean and detox. We have to master our emotions so that we can respond to our challenges of today and not react. We have to master our mind to actually have it sit in a candle flame and breathe and be still. This is Athena Starseed. This is a show called Heaven on Earth. I have my gorgeous co-host. We will be right back after these commercial messages. I love you. Kim Hix, I love you.
We're on.
Hey everybody, Michael Horn from What's Cooking Today and What's Cooking on Wine. Why not give the gift of wine this holiday season? Let us select it for you. We'll find you the best wines to give as gifts or to stock your own wine cellar. Just give us a call at 818-818-6400. That's 818-818-6400. CRN can find you the best wines with our wine experts, Michael Jordan, yours truly, and so many more. Check it all out. Give us a call at 818-818-6400. Wine this season from CRN.
Do you want to fly somewhere, anywhere in the world? Smart travelers call myflightsearch.com for the best deals on flight tickets. Going to Manila, Bangkok, London, how about Singapore? Call myflightsearch.com for the lowest flight tickets available. What about a local vacation? Let's say you want to fly to Vegas, Orlando, Miami, Los Angeles, or Denver. Pick up the phone and call myflightsearch.com right now. We have exclusive deals that you can't find anywhere else. The only way you can get these low airline prices is by calling us. We have so many low prices available, we can't possibly tell them to you right here and now. If you're flying somewhere anytime in the next 6 months and you want the lowest airline ticket prices anywhere, you owe it to yourself to save a ton of money. So pick up your cell phone and call myflightsearch.com right now.
Call 800-445-3166. 800-445-3166. That's 800-445-3166. Call now. 800-445-3166.
Come to Angelo's and Vinci's to see the memorabilia of movie stars and theatrical magic right in downtown Fullerton, California. See the art of the masters. An Italian town square complete with storefronts of old Italian butchers and cheesemongers, fruit and wine vendors, seamstresses showing their wares, fairy lights from cathedral ceilings, and our ancestors smiling down at you from the family love altar. The romance of Romeo and Juliet, and find the mystical room of the moon. And don't forget King Kong, Dracula, Frankenstein, and who knows what awaits you in the wine cellar. Enjoy the great food. We hand stuff our pastas, roll each and every tortellini, bake our own bread, make our own sauces fresh from our private stock of Sicilian family recipes. From pasta to seafood, chicken to award-winning pizzas, tiramisu flown in from Rome. If you can't find something on our menu to tempt you, you don't like Italian food. Try our Sunday brunch, just $18.95, and Angelo's and Vinci's has been named 2 years in a row Best Italian Restaurant in Orange County. Angelo's and Vinci's Restaurant, 550 North Harbor Boulevard in Fullerton, California. Call 714-879-4022.
Trying to sell your old car? Instead, donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind. Pickup is free and your donation is tax deductible. Just call 1-800-785-9618. Heritage for the Blind accepts cars, vans, trucks, and boats, whether they run or not. Call right now and receive a free 3-day vacation voucher to over 50 locations. Call 1-800-785-9618. Donate your car today. That's 1-800-785-9618.
Kaanapali Beach Hotel, Maui's Hawaiian Hotel.
Located in the heart of Maui's premier resort, Kaanapali Beach Hotel is officially recognized as Hawaii's most Hawaiian hotel and the #1 best value in Hawaii. With a range of accommodations and affordable dining options, this is the ideal setting to turn Hawaiian dreams into lifelong memories. Live Hawaiian entertainment every evening, free year-round children's programs, weekly arts and crafts fairs, welcome breakfast, and departure kukui lei ceremonies add to the value. Swim in the whale-shaped pool, indulge in the fabulous spa and hotel salon. Enjoy Hawaiian hospitality at its best at the Kaanapali Beach Hotel. Call 800-262-8450 or go to kbhmaui.com. That's kbhmaui.com. Aloha.
Kaanapali Beach Hotel, Maui's Hawaiian Hotel.
Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Supreme grace, light rain down through me.
Hi, this is Athena Starseed, and this is a show called Heaven on Earth, and this is a portal of possibility to gather the 144,000 light workers, and we know you're on the planet right now. It has been prophesied for thousands of years that there will be a golden age of enlightenment that ushers in 1,000 years of peace with the ones who incarnated specifically for this time to be born to unleash the art in their heart. And we're coming right back from our tarot card, which is the Magician, and we were talking about the wonderful metaphor about Merlin fathering King Arthur. And we're talking about the metaphor of I was saying, what is the rock and the sword symbolizing?
Oh,
in
yeah,
that,
the rock and the
story?
sword. The rock and the sword symbolize a man's self-purification to understand what his strength is for. He cannot release the sword from the rock until he understands how his power can serve. That's the Knights of the Round Table are here to serve. And what do? They go on the quest for the Grail. And what is the Grail? It's the quest for the feminine energy of the universe. And all the explorers and all the masculine energy to go to mountaintops is really to find his way home to the sacred hearth of the feminine.
And you know what's interesting about that is like a lot of men are like, well, no, I have to take my sword and I've got to, destroy my enemy, and then I get to the grail, to the girl. But women are saying, if I'm the grail and I'm the chalice, come directly to me and make love to me, and then make love. Like if you're making soup, what goes into love? Kindness, accountability, trust, inspiration, enchantment. And you were also talking about, what's the sword represent?
Yeah, the sword. The sword is the dual. The sword is what cuts both ways. The sacred sword actually shows you how it can transcend duality by cutting the two extremes and permits you to find the unification between. It's a sacred tool. And it's also, the seed comes from it, because guess what? When you have two dualities doing a dance together and then they form and they unify, you have lovemaking, and boom, what happens? You have a sacred seed, and that sacred seed is the child.
Right, well, I would say that would be a better use of the sword.
The sword is metaphorically,
the sword
of course.
is the
sword
lingam.
metaphorically is, of course, the phallus.
Right.
And the phallus, something is very interesting. See, the masculine serves phallos, and it's mostly blind-heartedly. So it's
driven by lust
very
and
important
greed.
to understand, greed. And it's like if the masculine, the energy that holds up the mountains and that holds up the forest and makes a tree stand erect, that is phallus. And that is truly what the masculine is here to honor and serve. We recognize it by our body parts reacting that way. And the feminine is the liquidity, the fertility. Yeah. Masculine is virility, and the feminine is fertility. And the two form a great harmonic of unity, which transcend it all and create the unified field vision of the singularity, which is the child.
Right, so that means that's the Trinity, the divine masculine and the divine feminine has that.
Has a child. That's the Trinity. That's the Trinity right there.
And so we've kind of lost that. Even in religion, we have excommunicated the feminine.
Yes.
So the Son of God has no mother. The Son of God has no mother. All beings come into this dimension through the divine feminine, and we have no mother God. There's only a father God. And we need to reunify the mother-father God to get the holy child.
Monotheism was a tremendous loss, because in the process of creating monotheism, we threw down the goddess. The goddess was stomped into the ground and relegated to being nature, and nature was considered debased, and spirituality was meant to take you off planet. Well, now we're at this time where the feminine energy is going, no, we are creator beings. We are the creator goddess herself, and we are all her handmaidens. And it's time for you lonely sky gods, you isolated conquerors, to wake up to this and return to our fertile earth. And join us in the dance of love and life.
In the Garden of Eden.
In the Garden of Eden.
And what does the oracle say?
I've got to get to the oracle, because this is our current situation, and we're facing this wonderful thing. I don't know if Matt can throw it up on the screen, maybe? I'll begin to... Okay, this is a piece of artwork I did for the New Oracle magazine, and this goes out to all humanity, because I'm just trying to think in my heart about loving and caring everyone and all of us and activating us. So the purpose of an oracle is to speak to a people beyond words, to ignite their inner fires, to awaken all wavefronts of creativity, consciousness, and compassion worldwide, coalescing a transcendental new constellation of global citizenry above and beyond all distinctions of borders, economies, and ideologies. And this is in order to achieve a more harmonic, luminous, and ecstatic way of living on this earth than we ever yet have dreamed. It's time to repurpose humanity, declare a wholly synergistic co-creative alliance with the universe, the earth, and each other. Are you in?
I'm in.
So it's an invitation.
That is so beautiful. I love that. Oh my gosh, I'm sure you guys saw that. That is so absolutely magnificent. And this magazine, can people get this magazine somewhere?
Yes, the magazine is actually we're in a cul-de-sac at the moment, but the idea is through the Lightworker Network, we're going to produce the new consciousness, and the Oracle is going to be one of the voices of the new consciousness. So we're going to use it as a vehicle to collect and aggregate the best, deepest hearted, open sourced ideas for the well-being of all humanity and put them in the oracles and distribute the oracles to all humanity.
Can we put a link on our CRN homepage for the Heaven on Earth show and then put it towards this guy so that they could get a hold of him and order this to read this?
Yes.
Because we literally really are calling out to the 144,000, because based on my own oracle intuitive nature, I have received information that each one of us that is a light worker, that's a part of this 144,000 group, they know that they have a specific solution to something in humanity right now. And to organize all of us and to get us back into our heart and our art, and we start dreaming again. And dreaming is what changes the culture. And to have a magazine like this that's filled with art and inspiration and consciousness, it can reunify us. You are not alone out there. The problem with our society is we feel separated.
Yes, the killer of dreams is isolation. And we look at the culture, and the culture has isolated us all into separate little individuals as if we weren't hooked up together. And therefore we don't get inspired. We have to buy or consume inspiration from the commercial entity. And this is corrupting us, and we need to liberate ourselves and contribute from each sacred heart to the well-being of all through our arts. This is a time of art in every aspect of our culture. The art of the scientists, the art of the seers, the art of the healers. All of us are needed right now for Mother Earth. We're about our mother's business, as we talked about.
Yeah, we're about our mother's business. And I want to go back to Camelot for just a moment, because we're talking about the 16th, we're talking about Kennedy, and then there was a symbol that died because Kennedy died. And Kennedy's in all of us. There's a Mandela and there's a Desmond Tutu in all of us. There's a Mahatma Gandhi in all of us, just as there is a Hitler, and also to our President Trump. As the Trump cards would say, there's the devil card. It's the vices overpowering the virtues. And that's the human conundrum, coming in and out, contracting, forgetting yourself, expanding and feeling full of love. But we're going to go back to King Arthur for a moment. Merlin's main theme, I feel, for King Arthur was using might for right. Not whoever had the biggest fist could punch and take, and the kings that had the money, that had the knights that had the swords, could just slay the farmers.
It was a brilliant context. In Arthur's Round Table, it was chivalry. And chivalry was that a knight would swear not to take advantage of the feminine, but to serve the feminine. If a damsel was in distress, she could ask any knight anywhere for assistance, and he was honor bound by the code of the Knights of the Round Table to serve. The Knights of the Round Table are avatars and bodhisattvas, and they're Boy Scouts. I mean, we have it in our culture. We do, and it's in an honoring of the sacred feminine. So normally, the other kind of knights, the dark knights, would control and manipulate, capture a woman, and enslave her.
Right.
You see, and so this was a whole new concept, and it came from the troubadours. The troubadours are the artists, the lovers, the poets, and they sang a new song, and humanity was very excited about it. And then, of course, it got run over by the power brokers who were, well, we can't have love running around liberating people. We've got to control them. And so you wound up with a few world wars, but we are now on the first stage of global consciousness for all humanity, where we can eliminate all war forever. We can bury the tools of war and create a vast new tool, technology to service love and consciousness.
And I feel that if and when the divine feminine welcomes in that divine masculine with more love, we go back to the story in ancient Greece, of course, of Lysistrata. The play Lysistrata was a band of women that came together and said, oh no, hubby, you will not be achieving this lovemaking with the Holy Grail and the chalice if you go out there and kill and pillage and take other people's things. And women stood together, and I want to invite women to say, it's not okay to send our children to war anymore. Let's actually make more love to our men and have the right use of their masculine power and their energy, right? To create and build and innovate.
Totally. The masculine is so completely inspired. The masculine joins the feminine and gets his electrical ionic charge from her. And with the power of her grace, he's able to go back and do good work in the world. And so you want to be very careful ladies, with you, with who comes through your gates and who is permitted, because they must be activated as a sacred warrior for the well-being of all. And this is the greatest service we can provide. It's Liz Estrada all over, and we're going to create a universal choice for love. You want
Yes.
to choose darkness, or you want to choose love? What do you think?
It's a very easy choice for women. I mean, and also two men. I think in the 60s there was that famous scene where the guys had their guns and they were on this battle line, and these women came in there topless and put flowers down the shaft
Down
of
the
their,
shaft of the gun. It was
down the shaft of the rifle, and they said, "Make love to me or fire that thing."
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, one at a time, guys are putting their guns down and they're firing following these beautiful.
Yeah. They're following the maidens on the sacred path.
Back to the nest.
Back to the nest. It's a conscious nest we are in, and this is a new earth that we're about to achieve.
Rebirthing. We talk about that.
We're rebirthing. Yes. What were we talking about? We had
Hawaii, taking society back
boy.
to a rebirthing center.
Yeah, and I just love the idea, because Athena and I were just chatting about I would love it if our groups of avatars out there would gather enough money to put a ticket into the gift basket to a woman who is stressed out with the children, and say, look, you get to go to Hawaii for a month and everything's covered. And we're going to the great rebirthing center for humanity to reactivate your sacred juices and your own vision and consciousness, and then return you to society.
And what would she experience there? Let's say she gets off the plane. What does she experience in her rebirthing?
The very first thing is she's met by the masculine in honor and respect on bended knee, offering a lei to her. And then, of course, she gets and is able to experience the cosmic makeover. And the cosmic makeover takes her out of her garb. You see, the feminine energy is really interesting, because the armor of the feminine is truly lingerie. Her makeup is her war paint. These are the sacred tools of the goddess. She is able to. This is what Cleopatra was in a dance with the devil of Rome, and she used every talent and skill of being feminine to conquer that, to bring it into a loving relationship. So in Hawaii, we expect to be able to create this center, which is going to bring toroidally people in, just like the whales come and migrate for the nurturance and have their babies and then return to their sacred shores for the feeding. All humanity should be rotating through Hawaii, getting the feeling for paradise, getting dialed into nature, to sleep in a banyan tree, to swim with the dolphins, to stand in the lava flows. And then you are totally rebirthed. All of those are rebirthing processes.
And let's give them some healthy juices and some detoxing and some yoga and some stretching and some hugging and some cuddling and some body work and just the full nurturance of any human soul on all the dynamics. We are multifaceted like diamonds, and we start out as lumps of coal in this aberrated society, and we are under extreme pressure, not just financial pressure and societal pressure and governmental pressure, but we have like this climate pressure. And so our systems are like freaked out, and it is time for us to return to the nurturance of Mother Nature and rebirth ourselves.
I think it's great, and I think everyone out there that's interested in pursuing concepts like this, I think we can create something absolutely stunning and a wonderful rebirthing center for ourselves and everyone else. And I think we can rescue a lot of people. I think there's a lot of lost souls who have been misdirected or too isolated to see that their gift, their particular gift, when activated, is of tremendous value to the culture. Every petal in the lotus is required for the blooming of the lotus, and we're all petals in the lotus.
Oh my God, Kim, that's amazing. And I want to inspire everyone. We were talking about, because it's been Christmas time, and there is a Rudolph show that has this little animated puppet, and they have the Island of Misfits. And a lot of our 144,000 light workers and way showers and magicians and artisans feel like they are misfit. They are misfit for this culture. And it's true, because the culture is not in harmony with the art and the heart.
Right, girl, right. Oh my God, yes.
So how do we collect the islands of misfits and get those people activated and dreaming again?
Yeah. I'm really excited about playing these games, and these are mythological games. Make no bones about it. We are creative mythologists, and we are inventing the mythologies and spiritual context for eons to come, and we must do it on a vastly universal galactic scale. This is our task at hand.
And that points back to Joseph Campbell, because
Yes.
you know, a lot of the people, if you haven't heard of Joseph Campbell, who was Joseph Campbell and what was his most important message to humanity?
follow your bliss. You must find and discover and follow your bliss and nurture each person you ever meet for their bliss.
For their bliss. What if we had to imagine, everybody, let's just imagine. Here's heaven on earth. Imagine being honored to follow your bliss from birth to the bridge into the other world, the door through death into the other dimension. If you were honored the entire time to follow your bliss. So that would be heaven on earth for me. This is Athena Starseed and Kim Hix, and this is a show called Heaven on Earth, and we want to know what heaven on earth is to you. So please like the show, subscribe, share the show with your friends.
Tonight, Athena's presenting her book, her new book.
At the Mystic Journey, and that'll be at 7:30 on Abbott Kinney if you guys want to come out, if you're in the City of Angels, we're in Venice. Tonight,
The smartest way for you to get the lowest prices on your plane tickets, domestic or international, is to call SmartFares first or last, but you've got to call us before you book your plane tickets. Fly anywhere in the world, fly anywhere in the U.S., and SmartFares can save you up to 75% on your plane tickets. We have the lowest airline ticket prices on over 500 airlines, and you've got a great 12-hour free cancellation window. Plus, with our live agent help, you can always get fast help and fast answers. So on your next trip, maybe today, maybe tomorrow, how about right now? Pick up your phone and call SmartFares, plus save up to 75% on your plane reservation. So call right now. 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644, 800-915-2644.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet. So make a free call to Page Publishing. Their expert staff can help you turn your book idea into a real book, a masterpiece that could someday make the bestseller list in hard copy and digitally all across the world. Page Publishing can help you completely take your idea for a book, write it, and publish it. So if you want to join the ranks of some of the most famous authors in the world, call now for a free information kit. Turn your book idea into publishing gold. Make a free call right now to Page Publishing.
800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. 800-378-3212. That's 800-378-3212. Do you owe back taxes to the IRS? News flash, the president has changed the tax laws, and now you may be able to pay the IRS less. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, the tax doctor can help you pay the IRS as little as possible allowed by law. There are new tax laws for business owners, the self-employed, even W-2 workers. If you have a back tax problem or a few years of unfilled returns, new help to save you money is now here. Call right now to see how the new tax laws can help you. Plus, right now, we'll waive the consultation fee and give you a free tax savings report. Attention business owners, the self-employed, and W-2 workers. Make this free call to the tax doctor now and learn how to take advantage of the new tax laws that may help you pay the IRS less. 800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. 800-985-1610. That's 800-985-1610.
Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Supreme grace, light rain down through me. Supreme grace, light rain down through me.
Hi, this is Athena Starseed. This is a show called Heaven on Earth, and I have my gorgeous co-host Kim Hix. And we were just talking about how artists, this is the first time that they can actually be able to initiate their art and receive abundance. And then we had our engineer, Matt, who's an artist. He shared his feelings. What do you say, Matt?
I said, in order for you to have art, you need to sacrifice art. To sustain it, you need to sacrifice it. And that's the way the medium is in this industry and in entertainment as a whole. It's not just go out there and create and it makes you feel better. It's create. Now you can't support yourself. Now you need to sell it.
Yes.
Right, and so then there's a commercial aspect that we were talking about.
The
You're writing a vibe,
commodification,
and then you get slammed with this commercial, and the commercialism actually cheapens
the product.
The product of the art.
Mm-hmm.
And so, Kim, what's the solution
our
to that?
solution is to create a societal communication network that is above and beyond commodification, and that's a sacred sort of commerce. This is where your value in your society is measured by the appreciation your society has for who you are and what you do. And this is the new realm, coin of the realm. And that's our job through the Oracle and through the Heaven on Earth program. We expect to snowball this because I think people would love to contribute from their bliss to the well-being of humanity. And they can only do it from their bliss. You really can't do it by being
No, you can't, like a slave, because you're like, okay, you from 2 to 4, you have to create an art piece, and then it has to be sold by Friday. That's not how an artist works. They ride the waves of consciousness, and they surf this bandwidth of love that transcends the human condition.
Yes, that's beautifully said. It's a sky chariot concept of connecting to the divine energy of universe. That's what the arts are. And that's all they need to be, because if we diminish the amount of work it requires to live through a sacred understanding of ownership and responsibility, we can get it down to 10%. That means 90% of our energy
can be creative.
Be creative.
And
love making time, making
music
art, making
making.
music. I mean,
traveling,
going. Everybody should have. I want to see people going to Hawaii. I want to see them go to Newfoundland. I want to see them go to Australia. All the sacred sites.
We as a species need to move about the planet. We have to be able to create and assimilate, and every being that we touch and every piece of nature that our little naked feet walk on changes who we are and how we interface.
Yeah, we've got to get Mac and everyone else jacked out of that matrix commodification role into their higher art purpose, and I'm looking at Matt and I'm thinking, I really wonder what his art form is. What if he's liberated? What does he contribute? And I have to say, that's what I see in everybody around me. So
I'm dreaming a world right now where artists are being appreciated. And I want to say this, speaking of art, this is my very first book I ever wrote in 2006. It's called The Celebration Story for No Reason. And I was inspired by David Alexander English to paint my first painting on Venice Beach, and this is it. And I painted the moon and the horizon and 2 little people here, a mirror of the shadow and the light. And I reversed the image on the back. And tonight I'm going to be reading this at the Mystic Journey, and it's a journey into the shadow, but it's a coloring book for adults, so that the pages here on one side are the story, and the other page is blank, so that people can take their colored crayons out and color in a new reality. So tonight, 7:30, Abbot Kinney.
Come join us down there. Get all your Lightworker friends to show up for this, because it's a chance for us to meet and greet over the celebration story.
For no reason.
For no reason.
For no reason to come.
Which is really the highest purpose.
To paint and to celebrate and to birth our own creations. Blessings and light to you. This is a show called Heaven on Earth. If you love it, stay tuned. Please subscribe and let your other Lightworker friends know that this is where the 144,000 are gathering to get their candles relit, and we're blowing pixie dust on all of your gifts and dreams so that you can actualize this lifetime.
Sounds wonderful. Thank you, Athena, for hosting Expanding Consciousness.
And thank you for sponsoring this show. It's sponsored by Kim Hix and the Green Fire Temple. We love Kim, and we appreciate it, because without him, this show would not be possible. Thank you so much, Matt, to our engineer, and to CRN Talk Radio. We'll be back next week, same time, same bat channel.